for mortgage assistance. At that time, there was the state initiative that put out billions of dollars for the purposes of assisting families who were renting throughout the state with assistance. I think they were paying up to like a year in rent for those that were behind. So with that, we were prohibited from offering the service, the assistance to renters, and so it was only mortgage or utility. Probably about half, if not slightly over, our population are renters, so that limited our pool of who would be eligible for the funding. Thereafter, the requirements that the CARE program has put out through this funding source requires us to collect proof of eligibility, and the verification that was the most difficult for those who did apply was to prove that they were impacted by COVID. So there were a couple things. They had to be actually delinquent on their mortgage or utility account, and then they have to connect it to it being because they were impacted by COVID. So that was the biggest struggle that we had, although folks would come in and say, you know, I had COVID, but maybe they weren't behind on their mortgage assistance or the mortgage payment, or if they were behind, they failed to prove that it was connected to COVID. And so there's very specific criteria that has to be met. There was a few, I think a couple families that were assisted that were able to provide. However, you know, even once it was opened up, so once the state wrapped up their program for rental assistance, we were now allowed to offer it to renters. But again, we still ran into that challenge, is that barrier in ensuring that folks can prove the connection to COVID. So we are winding down the term that we have to spend the funds, and so in order to ensure that we spend them and it still goes out to the community, we're recommending that we move the activity, or that we change the activity to food distribution. And so that was one of the activities that we did. And so if you remember last year, we did holiday boxes in November for Thanksgiving, and different holiday box in December for Christmas. And so for the next 12 months beginning November, that's what we're proposing, is that we continue doing the holiday boxes for the next 12 months, which would take us to next October, and would be the end of our term. Otherwise, we have to return the money back, and so we definitely don't want to do that. We want to infuse it into the community. So at this point, again, you have two resolutions that would allow us to amend the activity and to move forward with, we're going to call them holiday boxes. So every month potentially would be a different box, and so it'd be associated to whatever's happening in that month. If there's a holiday, we would associate, like for example, Easter, we may do a ham or something that's, you know, Easter-like, or you know, whatever's happening in that month. But again, it's another assistance for the community, and it's just ensure that we get the money out to the community.
Do you have any questions or comments from council? And we could still be, because we've used this description for
correct, the activity.
Yes.
So we can move it to this activity because it is one of the ones that we have already offered, right? So we've had the mortgage assistance, utility assistance, food distribution, and then business assistance. So we are allowed to move the money to that activity because it is already an approved activity. And I actually failed to say, the amount that we'd be moving over is $146,000, which again it's about 12,000 or so per month, which is about I want to say 200 or 300 boxes. I can't remember exactly if it was 200 or 300, but it's still a good amount of boxes to be able to get out to the community. And that would be done monthly for the next 12 months, ending October of next year.
And so Ms. Sharon would handle that.
Yes.
Do we have any questions or comments from council regarding this item? public hearing. Do we have any questions or comments from the public regarding this item? There being none, public hearing is closed. I will make the first motion for approval. Would you roll call, please?
Mayor Julia Hernandez,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem, Ada Flores,
Yes.
Councilmember Cristina Covarrubias, Councilmember Eddie Bolua, Councilmember Martha Mejia.
Yes. Item number 11, fund, we have none.